Welcome, everybody. We're getting ready to start our second part 2 of the Mad Woman of Rubra. This should hopefully finish this adventure, and then we can move on to other things.
One way or another, it will finish.
Yeah. I'm going to kick it right
on. These characters may not, but we'll be moving on.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. I'll kick it right over to Oscar. I guess I don't know who's going to do the recap, but I'm going to push it over to him and let's see what happens.
Okay, this is part 2 of the Mad Woman of Rubra. Our adventurers had a very good investigative session last week where they got to the bottom of a lot of the problem. That just means they understand the problem, and this session will be all about possibly solving it. Which will be which could be perilous. So I will let one of them recount. Or do you want me to kind of do a quick up-to-date?
It's up to you. You can. I wind up doing it all the time, so it's nice to have somebody else do it.
Okay. Our adventurers became involved with 2 children by the names of Neptunus and Neridia. Their mother was the local madwoman. Everyone received a lot of... these 2 children are living pretty much on the streets. They're neglected. And the community is terrified to help them because their mother is a lunatic who's said to have magical powers and curses and attacks people. Everyone in the community is pretty afraid of her. Nobody really wants to cross her. She doesn't let anyone help these children. Our investigators decided to get involved. They tracked this madness to a party she went to several years ago where there was a mass poisoning. She was one of a handful of survivors. Her husband died. And she's been insane ever since. Insane and dangerous. The players encountered her quite by accident, and one of them was stabbed in the very brief exchange, and she exhibited some rather disturbing behaviors, leading the investigators to believe that there is something definitely wrong with her, that she may not be in control of herself. They followed the trail to her brother-in-law, who she had blinded with a curse. And after a few stunning rolls, stunningly bad, the players completely boned any attempt to speak with him when they angered his wife, who was very protective of him, and they almost had the property's dog sicked on them. So then they went to the next town over, which is... someone gets 5 luck points back if they can give me the name of the town before I find it.
Oh, God.
Pella. Pella.
You've got it. Add 5 luck points to your character.
I needed those.
Hey,
it's like Jeopardy.
In favor of party luck, maybe we give it to Chad.
Okay. All right. Chad, it's yours.
All right.
You can give it over to the town of Pella where the poisoning took place. There you found a local priest of, and I'm going to let William pronounce this because I can never get it right.
Esclepias.
Thank you. Esclepias, the god of healing. They've got a temple there. This guy came after the poisoning, and he helped many of the survivors. They realized that this post-poisoning madness was not a one-off thing, that there are several people like Sian who were very dangerous and very insane, and this priest supposedly helped them. Didn't cure them fully, but now they're leading much more, they're easier to manage. He agreed to perform the same ritual on Sian if the players were to bring her to his temple where he's preparing the ritual. He said he can only do the ritual. They've got 3 days to get her back. or then they're going to have to wait for a month because this only works when the stars are in a certain position. While touring the temple, it was discovered by the investigators that the priests here were using chants in the language of the fallen empires, which they know is chants and magical incantations from ancient civilizations far older than Egypt, which means that these priests are actually using a form of mythos magic, but they seem to be using it for the good of the community and helping people. So they have issues, but this seems to be the best plan. The plan now is to poison Sian, so she's rendered unconscious, to bind her, blindfold her, and bring her to Pella, so this ritual can be performed on her, which is going to be very dangerous because people who have gone up against her have ended up dead because of the curses she's said to be able to inflict on people. Yeah. I think Horatius got the best magical charm he could possibly get to defend against curses, but he picked up the fact that the person who sold him was not completely confident this would be enough. Yep. And when last we left off, the players were returning to Rubra with the poison, and I guess the inklings of a plan.
That seems like a stretch.
Maybe that's generous.
Yeah. But we can start on inklings.
On the count of 3, get her.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do get help.
Yeah.
Did anybody see the last Thor movie?
No, I didn't.
No.
Oh, there's a terrible. Let's do get help, and he comes into a room carrying his brother, saying, "Get help! Get help! My brother is he's dying." And when they get close enough, he literally throws Loki at the guards.
Right.
Is that your cat,
so
Chad? Somebody's angry.
Yeah, it is. I know. I'm sorry. I can't mute her.
I locked my den door so I don't have any cat visitors.
Well, she's outside the door, and she's putting
really
her mouth
off.
She's putting her mouth under the door and meowing at me. There's nothing in here for her. It's just she hates to not be in rooms.
Oh, let her in.
Oh yeah, well.
I mean, unless she's not allowed in there. I mean,
John's cat walks across the screen all the time.
Yeah.
Mine's do it. Mine is. Oh, wow.
I think this is practically a 4th player.
Yeah.
All right.
I should probably walk out like 90 seconds later and not come back.
Yeah. She turned right around already.
To make sure you were okay.
Yeah. Just checking in.
Those doors freak me out, man. Anything be going on.
So, are we plotting?
I believe we're plotting.
Something other than the first suggestion that I heard?
On the count of 3.
Yeah. Maybe we can just build on that.
All right. Well, so
we'll call that Plan F.
Right.
They say that she comes and steals from the marketplace.
Yeah.
What if we were able to speak to the food vendors and maybe convince just 1 or 2 of them to open, and perhaps put the sleeping draught in some tasty morsel that she may snatch and walk away? Or have them open early, perhaps? I mean, we have no idea when she may come.
That's right.
I feel like we're risking losing our potion or getting, into the wrong hands.
I mean, obviously she's attracted to food. Maybe there's a way to set it up so it's not right at the market. as an unsuspicious gift of some kind.
Do you believe that she may partake of food that was left near the ruins of the house? My fear would be that she would feed it to the children, although
That's
she
right.
seems to be reticent to give anything to the children that she does not find herself.
Unless she suspects something, in which case she might use them as tasters. Or the thing inside of her. I mean, I don't believe that she's necessarily evil, but it would be really great to in my playbook is figuring out the patterns that she uses and figuring out a way to be in the way of that and to use them against her. So can we do a little bit of surveillance and following beforehand to figure out what the patterns are?
I mean, we can give anything a try. We're pressed for time for sure.
We are pressed for time. What are the consequences of waiting too long?
We'll have to wait another month.
Oh, that's right.
The stars are right within the next 3 days.
3 days we have.
What if we put the potion in some wine and brought it to her saying, we're sorry we trespassed on your land?
Oh, that looks awfully suspicious.
Be worth a try.
Well, right, we could lose. So we have two drafts?
4.
4, okay. Yeah, well, it's worth one.
I mean, we could potentially just give her a half. If it's enough to slow her, we could potentially pin her down and give her the rest.
Yeah, I don't know how well that's going to go. I think if we have to go for a frontal assault, we are already losing.
True.
And the other thing is to get... Sorry?
So we hit her from behind.
Yeah, I mean, I like your plans a lot, but I feel like they could be workshopped a little bit.
Which is a nice way of saying they suck.
But you bring up a really good point about the children, and I wonder if we can maximize the chance of them not being together, to separate them, or to have them be in a place where we know they're not going to take or be fed these poisons.
Do you think if we gave the children the wine with the sleeping draught in it, do you think that she would drink anything that the children brought to her? I don't recall if anyone had said, I know they said that she would not allow people to feed the children, but they did not say whether or not she would eat anything that the children did bring.
I don't think she takes from them. Because I'd given them fish without a problem. But that may have just been that she wasn't, nearby at the time.
Well, but we could enlist their help. I mean, the children... We could enlist their help. We could isolate them and ask.
I don't know, because the kids told me, stay out of this. Anything we do is just going to make things worse for them.
But
so I don't think they would welcome seeing us again.
Possibly. You're possibly right, but it does seem that if we could offer a way out that would lead to her not being hurt and for the curse to be lifted, if we can convince them.
Well, she did seem like she was aware that Iavolenus was the one who was providing them with food. She did threaten him specifically.
Yes.
No.
Right. So she will already suspect in whatever presence they bring that he may be to blame.
So if I stay out of sight and you bring her the wine, you might be addled enough for that to work. And
What does the thing want? What do you think the thing wants? Can use as leverage. This is how we get information and win without fighting.
I believe that these entities are mostly beyond our ken. The reasons could be as obscure or as simple. We would never know. I wonder how much of the draught is needed. I wonder if we could procure a blowgun or some similar such device that we may be able to inject her in secret.
It's an ingested poison. It's not interchangeable.
Gotcha. Okay. I believe Hamilcar did say that she needed to drink the potion.
Yeah.
We could force it, but I think that if we... I don't know that we can be fast enough to get that down her gullet before
What if I got a weighted net from the fishermen down at the docks? Might be able to tangle her up in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you familiar with the use of a net in your gladiatorial?
I was not trained as a Rediaris. I was a Murmillo.
Still, I mean, just throw a net. It shouldn't be too hard.
Again, I prefer. I mean, a net. You think a witch with spells and a demon inside her would really be cowed by a net? I just think force is the last possible resort that we should be ready for.
Plan F.
Yes. You don't like the idea of enlisting the children's help?
I don't think they're going to go for it.
But they probably also wouldn't tell on us. So we may not have anything to lose. I don't think that they are going to warn her or try to cause more trouble.
No.
No, I think if we could explain to them that this may be the only way to help her.
Exactly.
Because they seem they seem troubled that she was in the state that she was in. I mean, they don't hate her for what she's doing. They're are more concerned than anything else.
Yeah, I don't think that they would reveal the plan as long as they might deny. They might repel us. But I don't think they're going to warn her. If we can isolate them and talk to them quickly, give them wine, I suppose. Do we know that she likes wine? What is
this is the Roman Empire. Everybody likes wine.
Well, sure. It's water. Yeah.
Yeah, it's safer than water in a lot of places.
Well, for sure. Yeah. I just I don't like the idea of a net or force, although perhaps we can get one and have it to the ready.
Never hurts to be prepared.
Is there another way that we could do this by talking first and gaining the upper hand? Should we go to her directly? I think we could not possibly enlist the help of the blind brother-in-law. That's ship has sailed.
And burned.
And burned. And also a not a good insider either.
It's a big dog.
I mean, I don't know what insight he would be able to provide at this point. I mean, clearly they're not on speaking terms.
No, I think the children is our doorway.
I believe it's that or confront her directly, but I see that will probably gain us no ground.
Let's vote no to that. I believe in democratic institutions.
Is that the first crack you're going to take at this? Seeing if the kids will help you?
I think we have less to lose other than time.
What do we want? What do we want from the kids?
For them just to take the poisoned, he uses air quotes, poison wine to her, and hopefully that she drinks it.
And we ask them for the human terrain. We ask them what she is irresistible to her. Maybe not wine. Maybe there's something that they could say they found and that they know they shouldn't eat. Maybe there is something that her human self craves.
Or maybe something that the thing inside of her craves.
Indeed.
Mm.
So let's, I say we find them and ask.
All right, so we're going to say it is you get back to town, you return the cart and the beast to the stables, and you spend them, you bathe and have dinner, and it is early the next morning, and you are up, and you can see where where in town you might be able to find the kids, hopefully without their mom.
That's straight for the docks, I guess.
All right, I need everyone to roll a luck check.
Oh, come on.
Hey, we just gave you 5 more points.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even earn it.
Fail.
I fail.
Fail. 33 on a 21.
Were any of these critical failures?
No.
No.
Okay, so you don't find the kids like all morning.
Okay.
So it's now like high sun. And so they weren't down by the docks. You've checked the marketplace, and the docks and the marketplace, they're fairly close, but you're walking around and you're pretty sure they're not in any of you haven't seen her or the kids on your initial few hours, and no one's seen her since like yesterday.
If we're asking around, can I just inject a question about what she tends to steal?
They said that she steals fruit. She steals bread. Sometimes she'll steal a head of lettuce.
Mm-hmm. Nothing particular. No pattern. Nothing.
No, it's usually whoever's not minding their stall closely enough.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too out of the ordinary.
No, I mean, fruit's not a bad idea.
I'm willing to buy a net off one of the fishermen as long as we're down by the docks.
Okay, you can easily do that for, Oh, I don't have to guess. I've got the freaking keeper's screen
that I wrote. And I have a rule book that I wrote.
Oh, brother. It's so nice to have this finally. Net. Wow, nets are expensive. It's like 60 sesterci.
Livelihood. I bet you that those little combat.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is like a dinky fishing net. It's not like a combat net. So we're going to half that.
Okay. So I pay the man and I have a net.
Okay. All right, so it is now the middle of the day. I'm going to ask everybody to make a luck check as well. Again.
Fuck, 97. Jesus Christ.
87. Oh, so that's a botch.
Just a regular failure for me.
Okay.
Oh, no.
You decide that the next place you're going to check is her, the area near her bar, near where her house used to be, where you did spot her before. And you see that there's like I guess there's like some how can I put this? There's some there's like a large piece of fabric that's kind of like pinned to part of a tree and made like almost like a little rudimentary shelter, and there's a circle of rocks where a fire is smoldering, and you see some piles of rags that are like bedding, and it almost looks like someone has been like camping out here, but more than one person.
Hmm.
And okay. I need everyone to make a listen check.
Oh, 0-2.
Nice.
That's well, obviously.
I got an 06.
I'm going to spend 1 point of luck to make that a success.
Okay, all of you hear footsteps coming from like right around the bend of some rocks at the edge of the property, probably about like 20 feet away.
I go into hiding immediately. Go to ground, whatever is near.
Make a stealth check with a penalty dice because it's kind of out in the open and you're like diving for cover.
Oh, hold on. Oh, I made it. I have a 79. My skill is 80.
Well, with the penalty dice, I fail.
I fail as well.
Okay. All right. This is what happens. Horatius, with his keen senses of this is what he did. Finding a spot at a moment's notice. So he just, like, you never saw the old man move so fast, and you don't even know. He just, as soon as it was trouble, he vanishes. The two of you are like looking for a place to hide, and there's nowhere to hide. And around from the corner becomes Sian, and both of the children are like with her.
Oh man.
And she looks at you, at both of you.
I just immediately put my hands up to try to like placate the angry animal.
All right. Actually, and what do you do, Iavolenus?
I'm going to do likewise and just...
And I'm opening the book.
Yeah. I see it. I see it.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I need both of you. She pushes the children. She like steps in front of the children, pulls the rusty knife out, and like holds it behind her. And she extends one hand, and her kind of finger almost cracks at an unnatural angle. And she's like, just, you could see like her. She starts to tremble, and she's like, "Why are you here?" What do you guys? What do you do? Either one of you talk? Do you say anything? What do you say?
We meant no disrespect.
Horatius, she has not seen you.
Yeah.
We came to apologize and let you know that we're not going to bother you again.
Can we a luck check to see if we brought any of the potions with us?
Oh, I'm sure that you have it.
Okay,
but you don't have it in any food or anything. You didn't prepare it.
Yeah. It's just
okay. So you were thinking, do we have the potion? So you don't reply. Iavolenus, I need you to make a
persuade.
Oh, that's a lie. So it's fast talk. Because you did not come to apologize. You came to try and find her to gank her. So technically, that's a lie. So we're gonna need a fast talk roll.
I don't have any points in it, so this is gonna be real.
You don't
fun.
have any points in that either, but you spent 30 silver pieces on that.
Nope, I failed.
Okay.
Not a botch, but.
And we're not geared up either. Like, I don't have my armor. Like, we're just walking around in robes.
That's what 97 will do for you. All right. Horatius, what's your dex?
Oh, I have an excellent dex, I believe. Hang on.
Come on, you didn't have your sheet out?
I did. Well, I do. It's a different window, and I didn't print it out. 70.
70. Okay, she starts chanting, pointing at Iavolenus.
Oh God.
She is casting a spell. Her dex is 55.
Oh,
You've got the drop on her, and she doesn't know that you're there. They're flat-footed. So they're not going to be able to get to her to stop her. She's going to get this spell off unless you intervene right now. You don't know what she's doing, but but she starts chanting. Her eyes roll back in her head.
Yeah.
The children start crying, and the little girl tries to grab her mom. Her brother grabs her and tries to pull her back, almost tackling his sister and covering her with his body.
Oh, good.
Horatius.
That's good. So they're away. They're separate from the mom.
They're 5 feet. They're 5 feet behind her, and basically the brother tackled the sister and is covering her because he knows that something bad may happen.
All right, so I'm going commando. I'm gonna sneak up on her from behind. Right, I have that angle, and I'm gonna.
There's no sneaking. You have to tackle her.
Yeah,
it's it's happening within seconds.
Right, so I'm tackling her from the knees and sort of climbing over her. So that it's
give me a brawl attack. If you do get the brawl attack, it will interrupt her spell, and she will not get it off.
Oh man!
Then we're in a world of shit.
Yeah.
What's your POW, Iavolenus?
45.
Oh boy.
Oh, I'm spending luck. Okay, so I got a 45. The brawl is 41. I'm spending the 4 points to make it.
4 of the 5 we just gave.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
Easy come, easy go.
All right. Give me.
Oh wait.
I'm so
you can
on 7th edition. Is this a maneuver? Because you're just trying to tackle her.
Yeah, it's a maneuver. So we'll just do brawl versus brawl, and I get what I want if I beat her level of success.
Okay. But if she doesn't see you, right? If she's casting a spell, would she not be?
I think that might be a fair point. So I think
her
it's
eyes
surprise.
rolled up in her head. Narratively,
I don't think she can oppose the maneuver because she doesn't see it's coming.
You're right. Yeah.
She's completely so you hit her and she goes down. Are you doing this to grapple her or just knock her off of her feet prone?
No, I'm trying to grapple her. I go from behind from the knees and then I roll up so that I'm pinning her down.
Okay, at this point, the spell is not going to be cast, but she does have the knife out.
Okay.
So at this point, I think it's a new round.
Yeah.
And so we're just gonna go by dex.
Mm-hmm.
Her dex is 55.
Mine's 45.
Mine's 60.
70.
Okay, so Chad, John, then Sian, and then Evelyn, and then Will. All right, so if that's the order we're going to go in.
Yeah.
Okay. Centurion, you're sure this is going to end badly, and suddenly the old man reappears, tackles her, and it's suddenly in overtime. What do you do?
Who has the vial? I think is critically important at this point.
Oh boy.
Probably Horatius.
I would assume, right?
I'm going to say that's likely, but that's not certain. I'm going to drop a 1d8.
Okay.
1 to 4, Horatius has it. 5, 6, Iavolenus has it. 7, 8, your character, John's character has it.
Okay.
So I think it's likely, but it's not certain. And I roll a 3, and yes, the old man has the vial of poison.
So if he's first, can he just dump it down her throat?
No, because he doesn't have it fished out, and he's grappling her.
All right. So then do I know that you have it, or do you begin to yell that you have it?
There's no yell. He just tackled her. He didn't yell anything.
I just go for the knife then.
Like a leopard. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I go for the knife. I want to knock it out of her hand and get it away from her.
Okay, give me a brawl. Is that a maneuver?
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a disarming maneuver. Okay. How does that work?
It's just an opposed.
Okay.
She can counter it.
Okay, she brawls really well. So I roll her brawl, he rolls his brawl, and we see Who's lower?
Level of success wins. Yeah.
Okay.
I rolled a 13, which is out of 50.
She rolled an 8.
Fuck me.
An 8 out of 35.
So now wait a minute. Yeah, so that's extreme versus extreme, right?
No, actually, it's 10. If I can spend luck, I'll make it an extreme.
Can you spend luck on attack rolls?
Yes, you can.
All right.
Yep.
Done.
All right.
And you can literally to increase the level.
You grab her hand as the old man's grappling her. She looks at you with hatred, and she almost starts to like push the knife towards your face, and you're like, "Oh my god!" You put your whole weight against her hand, and you kind of like slam her hand into the ground, and the knife just goes flying out. But she had some. It was impressive.
Yeah.
You were like, "Where did this come from?" Okay, and Horatius.
Great. I'm reaching for the vial.
Okay, you're reaching for the vial.
Now, is she pinned or she's just disarmed, right?
She's just disarmed because...
you're on top of her still.
Does she...
No.
So now, to maintain your grapple, can she try and wriggle out?
Yes, she can. Yep, and I just oppose in the same way.
Well, if you're grabbing the vial, you're not actively trying to hold her down.
Okay. I mean, can I just
I can get in and hold her down if you want to uncap the vial.
But not until
not until my turn.
Can you hold your action until the end of the round, Chad? Is that a thing?
That is a thing. Yeah, I can
Okay.
hold.
So you're holding, which means that she goes now.
All right.
Okay. Give me a second.
This is completely foobar.
Total foobar.
It'll do that.
Yeah, you did botch, so gotta respect that. It's too bad. I thought we had an interesting plan going there.
You did. But that 97 is like, okay, tits up. It's on. Which is always fun for me.
I start yelling, the net, the net.
I knew we need this.
I told you so.
Okay, her eyes roll back in her head, her whole body goes stiff, she opens her mouth, and this inhuman singing, warbling sound comes out of her mouth. It is a completely inhuman sound.
I'm going to use my...
Hold on, I need everyone... This counts as a moderate other form of damage attack. Everybody needs to make a con check. You're going to need to make a hard con check for half damage.
Fail.
I will spend 2 points of luck. Just cranking through it.
Okay. Bill?
I failed.
Okay. Those who failed take 4 points of damage. Those who succeed take 2 points of damage. Remember, it's a hard success, I believe. Let me check. Now I have a screen. Other forms of damage. Oh, you've got to do... hold on. Roll of equal or less than 1/5 of con halves damage. So you've got to get 1/5 of your con.
So extreme.
It's an extreme success for half damage.
Okay, well, I don't spend those points then.
Okay, so everyone takes 4 points of damage. And it's not a one-time thing. She just keeps emitting the sound.
Until I use my held action to cover her mouth.
So just pour the stuff in her mouth.
Well, no, he can't even fish it out. So that's going to count as your grapple. Well, actually, you're not going to be able to do it this round. That'll be your next round.
Okay.
Because you were,
holding her down.
Because you were grappling her, holding her, waiting for Iavolenus to move in, and she started doing that. So,
Okay.
okay, Iavolenus, you're the last one up, and then Chad, you can try and cover her mouth, and then we'll start a new round.
So I like pile in and put my weight on her to.
Okay, give me a brawl.
All right. Son of a bitch.
No.
Not a botch, but
Right.
not a success either.
Okay. As you try and dive, she like rolls, to like one side, and you're like flat in the dirt beside her and Horatius, and the round begins again. The kids are like screaming in pain, and you realize they're in range of this attack that she's making. And for them, they don't have as many hit points as you guys. All right, so next up, we're starting up again.
Well, I'm the top.
John?
Well, no,
He's
I
first.
think
Oh,
I'm
you're
seven.
holding your action. You're gonna cover your roll.
Okay. No, fail.
Okay, now it's the top of so now it's the next round.
Which is also me. I'm 70.
Yeah, he's at 70.
Oh, he goes before you. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna try and do the same thing.
Same thing. Now, do I have the vial out at this point? I'm ready, right? To try.
No, because I wasn't
you
in her.
failed trying to cover her mouth. So
All
that
right.
was your last attack. You don't have it out yet.
Is she still on the ground or is she up?
She's prone. She's right on her back.
Yeah, okay.
She didn't try and get up. Actually, she's not really moving much now. She's just doing the sound and kind of twitching and rolling back and forth with her eyes back in her head.
Awesome. I jump on her and try to cover that mouth.
Okay, give me a grapple.
Grapple. So she has yeah.
She's not going to fight back on the grapple. She's kind of in a trance because this is happening.
15. That is a success, my friend.
Okay.
That is a hard success.
You cover her mouth.
Yeah.
And you're gonna need to make a sand check, all of you. You realize that as you cover her mouth, it only kind of like lessens the sound, but the sound seems to be coming out of her entire body.
Oh, great.
Like it's emitting from like every pore on her. And as you cover her mouth, she's still doing it. It's just lower. So this round it will be half damage of what it was last round, but it's still going to happen. But I'll wait until the end of the round. Okay,
so
John?
sanity. Well, sanity. If you fail,
I passed.
Okay, it's 0 if you pass, 1 point if you fail. Not a great roll for me, but that's okay.
Okay. I failed. I'm not going to spend the luck 1 points.
Okay, John.
Where's the vial? Do you have the vial?
I've got it. It's back here.
Which pocket? Or do you have like
This
a
one. Yeah, it's
He's got a belt pouch. There's not a lot of pockets on these.
I'm wagging my butt like right here.
So I go for the vial, uncork it, and if
make a dex check.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, 70. Shit.
You're kidding me, man.
You feel it, but he's like moving around so much you can't fish it out. It's like
right here.
There's so many folds in this tunic. Why do you have to wear the big toga?
He yells, Iavolenus, can you get the children away?
Okay.
Well, it's her turn first.
Yeah.
She's emitting the sound. That's all she's going to be doing.
No, don't go for the children. Go for her. I'm yelling not to go for the children. Help me.
I'm going to punch her in the head.
Okay.
Go.
All right. That makes a lot of sense.
And that is an extreme success on my fighting brawl roll.
Nice.
Okay. Give me a damage roll.
Well, let's see here. So that just max for my max damage, or do I roll twice? I don't remember.
How do we treat criticals?
Yeah. Or it's not an impaling weapon, so it doesn't matter.
It does. It does matter, but I don't have the rule book in front of me. Is it on the sheet? On the. Just do max.
Yeah, let's just go max. What's the damage on your max punch?
Max damage is going to be 7 damage total.
And I'm going to say that she got 1 off when she was tackled. But you know what? She's prone. I'm going to say that you knock her out.
Oh.
Screaming stop?
Oh, yes.
The wailing stops, and she immediately goes into violent convulsions. What do you guys want to do?
Reaching back for that vial that this jerk can't seem to find.
Okay, you find it.
Get out of the way.
I got it.
Stop touching my ass.
Pull it out, uncork it, and I pour it down that open mouth.
Okay, you do that.
And then sit her up so it, would naturally go down the gullet.
The convulsions stop, but
oh no. What but?
Make a as you kind of like move her to like a sitting up position, you see that her arm is kind of like hanging low and an odd angle across her torso.
Oh.
Dislocated shoulder?
Dislocated shoulder.
Oh, okay.
While you're doing that, I think Lucius would go to the children.
The little girl is unconscious. The boy is like completely shaken and trying to wake her up, and he's looking over and he's like screaming, "You killed her! You killed her!"
No, we didn't.
First aid.
Yeah, we were able to just get her settled down. She's asleep right now.
First aid.
Yeah, I'm going to go over and first aid the little girl.
And no, I'm doing the witch.
You snap her shoulder back into place.
Great.
And I got a hard success.
The little girl is unconscious. You don't know what this did to her small body. She's barely 5. And she just took 4 points of damage from the sound.
Ooh.
So that's probably more than half of what she has. So I'm going to say she's in shock.
Okay.
So you really need to roll first aid on her to stabilize her.
I just did, and I got a hard success.
All right, you stabilize her. It's she's going to be really shaky. Her breathing is better, but she like opens her eyes and then kind of fades out of consciousness. The kid's hysterical. John, make a persuade check.
Oh, can't do that.
You were trying to calm him down. So let's see how successful that was.
64 out of 19.
Not very.
Yeah.
Stop crying. Be a man.
I hate you. You killed my mother.
She's fine. She's not dead. She's fine. We're gonna help her.
Yeah,
look at her arm.
No, he's gonna fix. We're gonna fix everything. It'll be fine.
Okay. All right. So, what do you guys want to do? You've got her drugged. You've got this little girl who's unconscious, and the boy.
To the cart.
Yeah.
We got to get out of town.
So we need to restrain her because we don't know how long this drug is going to last, do we?
No.
Long enough to get her there is what we heard.
So then we must move quickly, but Iavolenus is correct. We should restrain her as tightly as we can.
Okay, restrain her and how?
We'll have to go back to
We have
town.
a net. No, we have a net. Right?
But we can't tie that, though, can we?
We can unravel it.
Yeah.
It's got to be ropes, guide ropes and stuff.
Okay, so how are you are you hog tying her? Are you tying her hands behind her back? Are you tying her ankles? Are you blindfolding her? Give me the details on how she's being secured.
Hands behind her back with rope.
Mhm.
Blindfolding her and gagging her with strips torn from my tunic. Because I've already torn strips from this tunic to bandage my arm. I'll get a new tunic when this is over.
Okay, so you gag her, you blindfold her, you put her arms behind her back. You're going to carry her back to the villa to get back in the cart to start heading over to the next town again?
Yes.
Yeah. I'll carry the little girl back.
Okay.
If Horatius can try to calm down the little boy.
Yeah, he's like, where are you taking her? The kid is just kind of like hysterical.
We're going to cure her. We're finally going to restore your family to the way it once was. Can you imagine?
All right. Give me the persuade.
Can I make it a charm?
No, it's not a dinner party.
Success though.
Okay, you do convince him. I mean, she's obviously not dead because you're tying her up.
Yeah.
If you wanted to kill her, you would have. You're and he's like, people have tried before. It never works. She's gonna, she'll be worse than ever now.
There's a priest of Esclepius, next town over. Yeah, I can't pronounce it either half the time. In Pella, he believes he can help her. He has done good work on people who have gone mad like her from the same poison dinner party that caused her current condition.
All right.
That's what I tell the
So
boy.
what do you want to do with the kids while you're leaving?
Take them to the villa. Have them attended to. They can be bathed. They can be fed. They have. I'm sure there's, a physician, if not on staff, that can be summoned to tend to the children.
All right. At this point, when you bring the unconscious local witch and these two children to the villa, the steward is not happy.
So we come in and if he pitches.
He says, look, this is supposed to be a place of safety. You're not supposed to bring danger to the door, let alone in the house.
Listen, we're leaving with her. We'll be gone in 5 minutes. The children are no threat to you or anyone else. They need to be taken care of. Hopefully, what we have planned is going to work, and she'll be better, within the next few days. But the children can't be left on the street. They've had a hard enough time the way it is. The girl's been injured. Call a physician, feed them, clothe them, and clean them.
Roll your status.
Oh, where the hell is it on here? All right. 58 out of 46.
Roll your intimidate.
All right. 50 on the button.
Okay. He looks you over and he stares you down and he says, "Fine, but the master will hear of this."
I expect that he would.
Okay. Had you failed both of those, he would have said, "Fine, but you will not be welcome back."
Oh man. Oh, that would hurt my feelings.
Yeah, you almost got tossed for bringing it here. But, all right, so there's no time for long goodbyes. The little girl is still unconscious, but the staff takes the kids in, and they'll be cared for. You just get their mother far away from here before she comes to.
We are on our way. I don't
want to know where. Just go.
I would grab a sack to put over her head, as that would probably work better than a strip of cloth. And then before we leave, I guess check the bindings and then also bind her ankles together as well.
Okay, so on the ride out of the villa, I need everybody to make a spot hidden.
Regular success.
Hard success.
A regular success.
You all pick up that she's awake after about an hour.
Oh,
Get another draught. Get another draught.
Yeah, I do.
She thrashes about for a bit, but she's gagged and bound hand and foot with a sack over her head. So you just hear muffled comments, but she's really unable to free herself.
I think I'm gonna give. We have another vial, so I'm gonna give her another dose.
How?
Through the, without taking the sack off her head, I can pull that gag down and pour it right through the filter into her mouth.
If you take the gag out, she's going to be able to talk.
She can talk. She can't talk with liquid in her mouth, though.
Okay, I'm going to need you to make a dex check to do this maneuver.
All right.
Because as soon as you move that gag,
hard success.
Nice.
She immediately starts chanting.
Oh God.
And you start pouring the water in the draught into her, and she chokes on it a bit, but she goes back to sleep.
Oh God. Okay.
Well, she may be more powerful than he thought. I believe he said that the potion would last until she got here. Yes,
he did, but she is clearly not. Has strange.
You don't have hardly enough to keep her sedated the entire trip.
With all four, really?
Yeah.
So we're only like a quarter in. Okay.
Yeah. Snap the reins and get that pony moving a little bit faster.
All right. So you with all haste, you try and get to the next town of Pella. She comes to about halfway there. Do you want to drug her again? Do you want to just kind of like sit on her and not literally sit on her, but you know what I mean?
I think we'll use the drugs, man. I'm into the drugs, but I will try to anticipate.
All right, Chad, I want you to make a no roll.
If she doesn't appear to be posing a threat, perhaps we should hold it and wait. We may need it when we get there.
Okay, I did make the no roll.
In your days of interrogating prisoners and drugging them, which is something that has come up in your long history as a drug, sometimes too many doses in too short of time can cause really bad damage and possibly death.
Yeah. Okay.
You go to administer the third one, and you remember about this guy that seized out.
Okay, well, maybe we should give her a break and save the last one.
Or you can
last two.
See, I don't know if any of you have any skills, any points in medicine.
No.
I
can just sit on her.
Yeah.
All right. So she can't really move around, and she's well enough gagged that I'm going to actually give her one shot with her dex. She's going to need to make an extreme success on her dex to wriggle a hand free. And I'm not going to tell any of you if I make it or not. All right. You get all the way to Pella, and it's night when you arrive. You're like literally on the road after sundown with this possessed woman in the back of a donkey cart.
What could go wrong?
Suddenly, wolf howls in the rising moonlight.
Oh God. Is it a full moon? Is that the cycle? Or it's the stars? Okay.
So you get to Pella just after nightfall.
Would we have grabbed our crap before we left, or we did not have time to do that?
Wow, you guys were so freaked out.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just seeing what our status is.
You're like halfway to Pella, and you're like, shit,
my
I didn't
armor.
grab my armor.
He looks down at his tunic. He's like, "Ah, son of a bitch." Well, hopefully we won't be needing that tonight.
Wow. This tells you how freaked out you guys are. You do have a
I don't
net.
think we would have. I don't think I would have been listening very much to just. We got to make one more stop. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you get to Pella. Where do you go?
I think we go right to the temple.
Absolutely. No delay.
All right. He gets you there. He's like, I wasn't expecting you till tomorrow. You seem to have. Do you have her?
Yes,
We do.
He says, well, you all seem to have had a long day. If you are able, we can possibly start the ritual tonight, but it will be long and arduous. We can hold her until tomorrow to give you some rest, but we won't be able to start the ritual until sundown.
but we can start. We can start tonight.
We can start immediately.
Well, yes.
We should have enough time to do this, to attempt to do this before dawn. I've made all ready. I made all the necessary preparations.
Excellent. Let's go. I mean, what are we gonna say? Oh, we're on vacation. We'd really like to stay rested.
Okay. Anybody need to use the bathroom or take a breath for a minute, or are we gonna roll in? Because now's a good time to like
Yeah,
bathroom.
pretty quick break.
All right.
break.
let's-
So
okay.
what? Okay.
All right. So we're taking 5 while we move on to the next scene.
Ooh.
Well, that was way more chaotic than I thought it would be.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I was not expecting that, but okay, that happened.
Man.
That's the only bad thing about role-playing games is I have to continue to roll dice. If it wasn't for the dice, it'd be great.
I mean, I thought that was a believable 97 reaction.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Literally bump right into her.
Yep.
Yeah. I am pretty psyched. I got to do my little spy commando stuff.
Right. When you were the only one and they were like completely out in the open, I'm like, she's not going to see him.
Yeah.
He's going to get a free crack at her if he wants to take it.
And a critical one, I think.
She was about to cast Cause Blindness.
Oh,
Oh, that would be bad.
Yeah, it's one of her most potent spells.
Mm-hmm.
no bueno.
Mm.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, what time is it? Oh, we're doing great. Okay, so he has his acolyte. He explains, basically he says, why don't you guys get some food, take a few minutes, catch your breath, clean up, and when you're ready, I'll have one of the acolytes bring you in. It'll take me a half an hour or so to prepare her. So you have a bit of time because you guys are like road dusty and, you've been at it like all day long.
Is there anything that we may need to prepare ourselves for the ritual?
He smiles and he says, your spiritual strength.
Oh, great.
He kind of just cracks a grin and he's like, all right, well. Slaps Horatius on the shoulders. Perhaps we should clean up and get some wine.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay. So after about a half an hour, hi, Atticus.
Are you joining us? Or are you just gonna sit there and groom yourself disgustingly and lust after my pie?
You have pie? Oh man, I want pie.
pie and Brussels sprouts.
I don't like this.
No kidding, that's my pot pie. Okay, so you come in and you see that the woman is tied down onto a table with her arms like straight out. So she's strapped with her arms straight out. They've bathed her, and they've covered her with a long, modest tunic. Her hair is parted, like very, parted like down the middle a lot, and she's gagged. Her eyes are wild and looking back and forth, and she's fully conscious. So he says, I'm going to start the chant. You'll have to learn it. It's very repetitive. And he says, stand, and he says, I'll show you where to stand. I'm going to lead you in it. And after about an hour, when I'm comfortable that you have it, I'm going to start preparing for the removal.
Okay.
And he says, if one of you needs to relieve yourself or scratch or for some reason stop the chant, please signal to the others so that they can redouble their effort while you're taking a break. If we falter or the chant, and if all four of us stop chanting at any one point, the spell will immediately fail, and it could have very bad consequences for the subject.
And you need all of our help, correct?
Well, the more of us there are, the easier it is, because if there are two people who have to keep the chant up, then if one of you should falter, it won't be catastrophic. But if two people are and they both falter, it's ruined. And I would rather not risk any of the younger acolytes here.
Yes. So all of the acolytes will be involved as well, as many people as possible, right?
No, I've sent them away.
Oh, why?
Because the last time I tried to do this, one of them died.
Oh, good news.
I told you I would do this, but only with your help.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'm willing to put myself at risk, but not. Many of these are the children of prominent families. If another one of them was to die, it would be catastrophic for the temple. If we fail in the chant, what we are trying to draw from her could break loose. The chant is to draw it from her safely, so it's inert. I learned that one the hard way.
Oh, Lord. Don't tell. We don't like to tell stories that we don't have to tell. Don't tell us. We don't.
Okay, then. Let's begin the chant. Now I need everyone to make an INT check.
Hard success.
Solid success. Not quite hard, but close enough.
28.
96 out of 50.
Okay. Now.
Oh, what? Are you? Wait.
You keep asking me to roll dice. This is what happened.
This is what's going to happen. I need. You're all going to be chanting, but John's doesn't count because he's mispronouncing several key syllables. So if it ever falls on him that he's the one who has to keep it up, it's going to automatically fail. But none of you
get like an hour to learn it.
It's kind of like wrapped up like a douche. What? You're just getting that weird lyric wrong over and over and over. And to you it sounds fine. All right, so you begin, and the first hour comes, and it's this long, complicated chant in a language you don't understand. And he motions like he's going to break away after the next verse, and he's like pointing to her as he's chanting, and motioning that you guys should keep up on it. And when the chant, and by the way, the chant's in a round. So it's like you're not all singing the same lyric at the same time. You're kind of like several syllables around, so each one is overlapping, and then it skips on John. But you guys don't really realize that because you're so like wrapped up in your own. But there's always at least two of you kind of singing the same spot. So at this point, as you guys are singing, you're all kind of gathered around the top of her body, kind of like in a semicircle around her head, with her arms outstretched like this, tied down at this table. While you're singing this round of it, he takes a very sharp blade, and he carefully shaves off all of the hair in a square patch at the very top of her head. Okay, and then once that is over, he looks to see if you guys are okay. And then he takes out a scalpel and carves a kind of like three quarters of a square, so that the flap of scalp just kind of like hangs off, and you see like the bloody top of her skull. I need all of you to make a sand check, except John, who as a soldier is immune to such horrific graphic stuff.
What about me as a gladiator?
No.
All right.
Because you're not an active gladiator, you're a bodyguard.
Fail.
That is also a fail.
Okay, and John's chant doesn't count. Okay, so as that happens, all of the lights in the room extinguish. It's like a wind blows through the room, smelling like an open latrine, and like all of the lights just like go out. You hear like a scalpel fall. Immediately, what do you guys all do? Bill, what do you do when this happens? You realize that you paused in the chant, and then so had Chad. You don't know, John seemed to be chanting fine, but the spell still seemed to have failed. One by one, don't talk to each other. What do you do in that moment?
Who first?
Iavolenus is going to freeze.
What?
Iavolenus is going to freeze. He's not prepared for this.
Okay.
It's dark. He's unarmed.
Horatius.
Go to ground and hide. Closest place.
So nobody's going to try and keep chanting. John.
I tried to chant harder. He thought he had it right, so he just redoubles his efforts.
You hear the priest chanting very loud, almost at the top of his lungs, and you hear him like stamping his feet in the dark. And you hear this like low growling sound in the darkness coming from where the woman's probably where her midsection or chest is. Like this deep rumbling in her chest.
She's a sternomancer.
All right, we're going to go back to Bill. What do you do?
If the priest is still chanting, I'm going to try and pick the chant back up.
Okay.
Same.
Okay, you pick the chant back up. And as you're chanting, you start to hear like the sound of flint hitting steel, and the priest relights one of the lamps. And then as you guys are, he goes to John's character and he gives you like the lit candle, and he points to all the other lamps and torches that are kind of lighting up this, like basically relight the room as he continues chanting.
Okay, I do so.
As he's chanting, he starts motioning to you guys, and it's obvious like as he's continuing this chant, he's scolding you. And he's like motioning with his arm, like you cannot stop. And then he motions with his eyes, and then waves his hand and motions.
Yeah.
Which, basically, no matter what you see, don't stop, keep going.
Mhm.
All right, the room is relit. That's one strike on you guys.
Does he notice that I'm not doing it right?
Because he's nobody really knows. It's like it's very minor missteps, but no one's noticed.
Gotcha.
Tattoo Verada necktie.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, he's got this bloody square on her skull open. And he's cut skillfully. It's not like it's oozing blood, but it's not spurting. And at that point, he takes out this round drill. And he points to it, and he's like pointing to his chest, like breathe deep and chant, and and he was waiting for like the next round to start drilling this little hole. All right, so he starts to drill. You actually smell like a burnt flesh as he's kind of like moving the saw back and forth, and the teeth of the circular saw are kind of like cutting the circular hole in the top of her head, and you can like smell the bone burning on the friction. And I need all three of you to make sand check, except John. So 2 of the 3.
I'll fail.
Succeed.
Okay, the chant does not interrupt. And he expertly drills sends the drill to the thickness needed, not hurting her skull at all. Not hurting her brain at all, and removes expertly this round little disc of bone. And you look down. I think all of you have probably seen exposed brain at one point or another.
I'm sure I would have.
As the disc comes away of bone, you see almost as if the brain is like discolored, and you think, oh, it must be clotted blood or the shadows. But as soon as the light of the torches hit, a million, like dozens and dozens of these thumb-sized dark globules flee from the light and recede from that hole, kind of like into a different part of her skull. Almost like, roaches when a light is suddenly turned on them and they flee for the shadows. I need everybody to make a sand check.
That one I made.
Okay.
Success.
Fail.
All right. Does not matter. you're not helping anyway. And I got a Davina. And all the other misheard lyrics. Okay, he actually gets a ornate glass bowl, almost like a vase, and he puts it at the base of her skull right under the hole, and he like steps back, and he takes he motions to you guys to take deep breaths, and then he starts to chant lead the chant, like much louder and even faster, and he like motions for you guys to follow his lead, and he joins hands with all of you. Like he grabs two of you and motions for the one on the end to grab the other, so that the four of you are holding hands. All right, at this point, I need everybody to make a POW check.
I
pass.
just made it.
Fail.
41 out of 45.
Okay, 2 out of 3 I think is enough. All of you are immediately drained 5 magic points. The woman's body kind of like convulses and like her back arches, and she's like lifting herself off the table in this full body spasm. It just looks agony, and all of those little black globules that had fleed from the light, they start coalescing and dripping drip by drip out of her skull into this vial, where they pool almost like dark oil or
Ink.
Yeah. And as they do that, you see the fluid starts to try and come up. It starts moving of its own accord, trying to find the edges of where it is, almost to like escape upward. Like it's trying to crawl out of the bottle, but it has no purchase. And just drip by drip, it keeps dripping in. So for the third and last time, I'll need everybody to make a SAN check.
Fail.
Success.
Pass. 36.
Okay, you keep the chant going. And we won't have to deal with that. Because that would have been fun if everybody failed, because now it's coming out. After about an hour of this, it almost as if it looks like there's maybe like the third of the vial is filled. Probably about a half gallon of this dark living ichor is drained out of the woman. It's drained out of Sian, and her back slowly loses its arch, and her muscles lose all the rigidity, and she just slowly but surely goes limp. And then it's like one drop, and then a minute passes, and then it's another drop, and then 2 minutes passed, and the doctor begins to look over, but motions for you to keep chanting. And you see him pressing on her brain, kind of looking around the edges of the skull to examine it. And then at that point, he takes out a ball of wax, and he puts it into the stopper as a stopper, and then mashes it down all around it. And he motions that you can stop chanting. And he says, I'm fairly certain we got it all. And he passes out water, because you guys have been chanting for 4 hours.
Wow.
Lucius just squats down.
So, he's sweaty and looks like he's been in surgery for 4 hours. And he immediately puts a special fitted brass plate in the circular, he doesn't put the bone back. He says, this piece, I can't reattach it. So he puts a disc and then sews up the skin back and, dresses the wound. And he says, well, she should come to tomorrow. She'll be weak, but she should recover.
And it is fully out from her?
We won't know. She will return to some of her faculties. She won't be dangerous. And she should be a lot easier to manage. Whether it's a full recovery, I won't know. The only time will tell that. But the worst of it is over.
What is it? What I mean, do you understand what it is?
He says, I believe it is the blood of something more powerful.
Hmm.
He says, we're nervous about testing it. When my order finds these, we usually try to destroy them rather quickly. The only place, there's no way to do that safely here, so I'll be leaving for the temple where I was trained and asking for the senior priests to aid me in disposing it. We've never had one this large.
I would like to know if he seems to be telling the truth.
Make an insight check.
Oh, what is it? Success. Just.
He's not.
Yeah, I knew it, man. They're gonna bring that back to Tunisia, and we're gonna use it.
What do you want to do? I think you're the only one who's picked up on it.
Well, I give the stink eye, or this sort of hey, I don't know, to Salvius. That right?
Lucius?
Lucius,
All right, Lucius. Let's see if make a
Insight?
yeah. No. Your friend is trying to make a no roll.
All right.
Let's see how much you can pick up on your friend's cue.
All right, let me find this on the sheet here before I roll. Or I'll just roll. It doesn't matter. So I roll a 62. I assume it's probably not going to make it. No is just your education, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I got a 62 out of 60. I'll spend the 2 points.
You pick up that he's not buying the guy's story. Iavolenus, you can do the same.
I just rolled. I'm oblivious.
Okay, you're just too tired and shredded emotionally. I mean, you have lost 5 magic points, so you feel just like you haven't slept in a day.
Which I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's accurate.
Well, then you've been up for 2 days. It's just very mentally fatigued.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So Lucius just kind of looks at him and returns, he holds his gaze for a minute and inclines his head ever so slightly to acknowledge the message.
Signal received.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He says, I'm going to put this somewhere for safekeeping till I can get it out of the city. But then I'll send the acolytes to help you move her to wherever you're staying. Do you have a room, or we can bring you? I can take you to a place we keep. We can we can set up some cots in the hospital.
That'd be fine.
And he starts leaving this little secure area with the vial.
Yeah. Can we? Is there any chance that we could help you bring that to safety?
He says, no, we're going to lock this in the inner vault sanctum. Only consecrated priests of Esclepias are allowed in there. It's part of the protectiveness of we can't have non-consecrated priests in there. It would ruin the protective seals. We have it from here. This vial will keep it inert. It can't hurt anyone now.
Oh.
Do you actually start laughing?
No. I think I could keep it together.
Okay, so are you guys going to let him leave the room?
Well,
I think so. Yeah, I mean, we've been up for a full day. We're not.
He looks as tired as you do.
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting we, wrestle this thing and do another open combat. That would not be my way anyway. Let's go back to the room and have a discussion.
As he walks away, I pull closer to those 2 guys and say, do we want to stay here, or should we stay at that inn that we were at before? It would be easier for us to discuss certain things
Agreed.
if there were not ears about.
And yes, I crave the eggplant, I believe it was. That tasty.
So you guys think something funny's going on?
Yeah, no, it's the eggplant that I'm craving.
So the priest leaves with the vial, and a minute or two later, the acolytes come in, and they're like, "Oh, we're told that the procedure was a success, and we're to bring her to the hospital and make accommodations for the three of you."
We in fact, we have made friends from our previous stay, and we'd like to stay at the inn instead.
That's it, sir. It's the middle of the night. It's 2 hours until dawn. I don't think that they'll be awake to let you in.
We'll be fine. Maybe we'll take a walk before dawn. You know, they say that if you stare at the dawn light, it makes your eyesight better. And rarely do I get a chance to see it.
Well, that's up to you. We'll make sure that she's secure, but she should sleep. That's what Hamilcar said. She probably won't awake until tomorrow evening. And they basically, like, several of them come and they carry her into the hospital ward. So they leave you. They take her and they let you leave the temple to go outside and walk if you wish.
I mean, it's too bad, but
Yeah.
I say we wait till the inn opens and we can just sleep it off in the daytime.
Sure.
All right. I need each one of you to make a luck check as you are leaving the temple.
94. No.
86.
3.
Nice.
Nice.
I was hoping somebody'd make a critical, an extreme success.
So close. Oh, success? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. As you are leaving, you see that one of the priests is saddling a horse from the stable of the temple.
Oh, yeah.
Which is odd because it's still night time. It's like 4 in the morning. It's still an hour before daylight. And apparently and there are saddlebags on the horse.
Huh. Okay.
So what do you want to do?
We haven't let Iavolenus in on this suspicion yet. Or have we?
No, he's like, is there something? And you're like, oh, no. Like,
Yeah.
he's picked up that you guys were
Okay.
like a little weirded out.
Right.
So I kind of like tug on their sleeves and
Mm-hmm.
got Knight Rider over here.
Oh, no.
It seems as if they have other designs on the thing that was removed from Sian. Perhaps we should
Agreed.
move to intercept as he gets away from the temple.
Agreed. And perhaps just outside of town.
Mm-hmm.
Can we position ourselves on the road? We don't know which direction they're going yet.
Mm-mm.
So I think we have to spy, my friends. And maybe it should just be me. I'd like to find a vantage point to watch the horse from and dig myself in alone.
Are you trying to ambush it, or you just see which direction it travels?
Just surveillance. Yeah, I just want to see which direction it goes.
But that'll only get us so far, right? Like if it goes to the east, it could be anywhere, right?
Yeah, right. But at least we know we could follow it and wait till we're midway between the towns or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking ambush, and I'm thinking get it as far away from the acolytes and everybody else as possible.
Okay, here's the thing. If you watch which way it's going, you're never going to get in front of it to ambush it.
Is there a stable that is like just unprotected, like a stable near the inn or something, where we could snag horses and follow? I mean, we've been to the town before.
Horse. It's not like D&D. Horses in ancient Rome are incredibly expensive animals.
Yeah, but we have one. We have a cart.
Donkey.
You have a donkey.
Donkey.
But it's a super fast donkey, I'm pretty sure.
It's really tired because you whipped it to get here quick. Here's the thing. There are 2 roads leading out of town. He's either heading out the north gate or the south gate. The north gate leads back to the town you just came from.
Right, okay.
So the other gate then.
You can split up. You can take a chance on guessing the right one. But if you want to stop this guy,
yes,
you're gonna have to stop him now, because once he gets out on the open road on a horse with you 3 on foot, you'll never catch him.
So the north gate leads back to town, you said? Where we came from?
The north gate leads back to the town you came from.
Okay.
I don't think it's going back there. I think it's
don't
going
believe
south.
so.
Yeah, I think south is a better bet.
So you want to position yourself right outside the south gate, expecting him to use the south road to leave town.
Yep. I mean, not right outside the gate. I mean, away from people. If there's gate guards, I want to make sure that we're, can ambush in privacy.
All right, you get that he's probably going to be leaving very soon, so you're going to have to make haste.
Yeah.
To try and find a suitable ambush point. All right, Horatius, this is just like old times for you.
Yeah, it's the blood flowing.
I need you to make a spot hidden.
Yes, 31, which is no, it's not extreme, but hard.
You find a good ambush point where you've got ample cover and there's a narrowing and a turn in the road.
Nice.
That the horse will have to slow down here, even if it was going faster.
A bloody angle.
This is the best place you can set up an ambush in the time you have.
Yeah.
Now, do we have the remnants of the net still, or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so I think Centurion, you go there ahead, and then we will be behind, so that you will come out and stop the horse, and we will flank.
Okay.
Sound okay?
Sure. Iavolenus, are you going to take the net, or do you wish me to try to subdue him before you can?
I don't know that we'll use it, but I'll carry it just in case.
All right.
Okay. Everybody, are you going to be like out in the open? Or are you going to be hiding or
hiding?
Yeah, hiding is best.
Give me a stealth check.
Hard success.
Extreme success.
Yeah.
93 out of 20.
The hell,
He's
man.
just on the road.
Well, that's what you are, though. You're the roadblock. You don't got to be hidden.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see
93.
in the early pre-dawn, you hear the horse before you see it. But it's the sky is just turning gray with a sliver of reddish pink, where the sun will be coming up in moments. You hear the horse coming towards the road. It turns, and there's a centurion. There's a man standing in the road, and it is the same horse you saw being saddled. And this is Hamilcar.
Oh, is it? Oh, that fucker.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Okay,
So, yeah, he turns. He was gonna be like, "Oh, hail! Could you help a weary traveler? I was waylaid in the." Oh, fuck.
so you see him. Is that what you were actually in mid sentence saying?
I think he would have to recognize me, right? I think we just spent 4 hours together.
Recognizes you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just like, oh.
You see him.
He knows your voice really well.
Yeah.
And there's a pause.
Which is
where Hamilcar, where are you off to?
And at that point, he kicks the horse into
Strike.
full gallop.
Strike.
Okay.
I leap at him.
No, he's on horseback. He's going to run your ass down.
Well, how far away did he stop? I mean, did he like...
Well, I don't think that you were going to be like standing right at the turn because the horse would have hit you.
Yeah.
So I'm figuring you're at least 6 or 7 feet away. He won't get in. He won't get up much speed, but the horse will slam you out of the way if it hits you.
Yeah. So as he like,
but it may not even happen because the minute he moves to kick, the
yeah. Well, I was gonna say
strike. So
yeah, when he kicks, I'll like jump to the right a little bit and just like start to run to tackle him off the horse.
Okay,
it's all happening together, right? I mean,
it's a military move, sure.
Yeah, right. You're gonna you're gonna like fake and lunge.
Yeah,
almost like a spear, like countering a spear thrust.
And if the horse goes, he's gonna meet me as I'm jumping, right? So like
we're gonna go Dex.
Yeah.
And his move is just to get clear of this, so he's not going to be attacking.
Okay.
His full move is to get out of this area. Okay, so make your 3 attacks, and let's see what you can do. Keep in mind, he is on horseback, so take that into account for what you want to do.
I rolled 100.
Okay.
Oh, you son of a bitch! You're kidding me, man.
It's 100, a 97, a 96, and a 92.
We're lucky you can't roll higher than 100 because you'd do it. All right, we're gonna deal with your death in a minute.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, I lunged and missed. I got a 70, so
I succeeded on my fighting brawl.
And you were gonna just do what?
Charge the horse in the side and try and push Hamilcar off.
Okay, you run and you basically grab his leg and his leg and his hip, and you like fling him, and he falls out of he falls off, and he like falls onto the ground. Chad missed him. The Centurion stumbled, and I got to pull out the damage on a horse trample.
A lot.
That's not a light wound.
Oh man.
Well, you could be nice to just say Hamilcar fell on
It was
me.
100.
Yeah.
The
horse falling on him is being nice.
Yeah.
That is just running you over and not stomping you to death or falling on you.
Oh my god. Literally the worst.
That is awesome. and at the critical moment, you also got a 96 or 7 earlier.
Yeah. Every goddamn time.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. No, I like it.
I killed the spot hidden roll though.
Yeah, sweet. You're kind of a plot device, man. You're a walking plot device.
Every game.
Jesus.
And yet I still play role-playing games.
This is ridiculous. How many hit points do you have?
I have 9.
All right, this isn't even going to be close. And you don't have your armor on?
Nope.
The horse runs over you for 17 points damage.
Oh, that's bloody.
How much was it?
17.
Oof.
A horse does 1d8 plus 3d6 and its strength bonus.
Ouch. You just hear bloody stomps, I guess.
Oh, man.
And cracking bones.
Could be pretty funny if this is a TPK against a horse.
No, the horse flees into the night after that.
Sure. Well, that danger's gone. Thank God.
Yeah, but does it have the thing in the saddlebags?
Oh, you're friggin' kidding me.
He said he was loading things into the saddlebags, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Hamilcar's actually, you know what? I'm going to see that's the damage if it's attacking you. It's not trying to attack you, it's just spooked and running over you. So I think I'm going to half that 17, which is still an awful lot. Which is still 9 points.
So it's 0.
I'm going to say you're knocked. You've got several broken bones and you're near death, but since it's not a trample attack, it's just incidental.
Okay.
And I think that's fair. It may end your career anyway, but because we don't know, because unless someone survives, he's going to slit your throat. Okay, so Hamilcar is on the floor after falling off of a horse. I'm going to say that inflicted 1d4 points of damage. You're lucky it's a 3.
Did we Christopher Reeve him?
What?
Did we Christopher Reeve him?
No. He has a dex of 55. So
70.
70. Okay. 70 goes first.
I'm going to jump on him and slit his throat. So I'm attacking with a knife.
Okay, go.
95.
Who's rolling 90 now?
You're not slitting his throat.
It's not a botch. I just want to, if you want to
Right.
talk.
Bill, do you go before 55?
No, I don't.
No.
Okay.
Oh boy. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, he's chanting.
So I don't play a ton of Cthulhu, but at 0, are you still conscious, or is it like a minus 2 thing?
I'm saying that you're unconscious, but you're not.
Yeah.
dying.
Yeah, I rolled 100. I get it. It's cool. I'm not dead. I just wasn't sure because we play so many different things. If there was, like a con check involved or something like that, where you still had some.
0, you're out. You're...
Yeah. Can I moxie that roll? Maybe a fate point?
Spend a Benny.
Yeah.
Push the roll. Push the roll not to die. Is that a thing?
Well, you can't push rolls in combat, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Chad, walk me through an opposed POW roll.
Okay, we both roll, and whoever gets the higher levels of success gets it.
Okay, his POW is 75.
All right.
And he rolls a 32 on 75.
Which is a... Oh, holy crap. It doesn't matter. I got a 99.
Oh, who botched now?
Okay, he chants in the languages of the fallen empire and, has his hand out. And suddenly you hear like bones cracking, snapping.
No.
And it's almost as if your bones have turned rubbery and are folding in on itself, and your arms kind of go back, and your head jerks to the side, and you fall in just convulsions, screaming as your body twists and cracks, and you suffer 7 points of damage.
At which point I die.
You don't have 7?
I've got 5.
So that's 2?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Bill.
How do you roll for seeing that?
Make a sanity check for seeing that.
17, I'm fine.
Okay. Are you?
Are you really?
Are you
No,
really?
I'll never be fine. I'm in the Shadow War.
You may not be even that much longer. It's just you and it's you and John Kenny.
So, is it like a cobbled road or is it just dirt?
No, it's Roman road. It's decent Roman road.
I want to spend the time to dig a brick out, so I'm just gonna punch this.
You don't have a dagger? You have a.
I've got a dagger. Yeah.
Everybody carries the dagger.
Yeah.
You may not have your axe, but you've got the dagger.
And that is, if I rolled one lower, it would have been an impale with the dagger.
Can you burn a luck?
Yeah. Burn a luck. And that's going to be 8 points of damage.
And he had fallen off the horse. And he's down.
I stab him again for good measure.
Okay.
Do I even need to roll for that?
No. So are we sure that -2 points means that you're like completely dead?
No, it seems that I get a con roll at the end of each of the rounds, and if I fail it, I'm dead.
Okay, so make a con roll. And does this mean that you can be stabilized?
Yes, it would give me 1 point if I am first aided.
Okay.
But I have failed my con roll. 71 on a 45. My con is not good. This character is dead.
So, Iavolenus, you are there with a critically wounded soldier, a dead cultist. Let's call him what he is, and your deceased friend. So I need you to roll a sand.
93. That's a failure.
All right. Worst vacation ever.
Yeah.
3 points of sand loss.
All right.
And the horse comes trotting back.
Well, that's good.
And the vial is in its saddlebag.
I'm gonna. Is there like a tree nearby that I can tether the horse to?
Sure.
Okay. Tether the horse. First aid the centurion. And I will burn the 6 points of luck to make that a success.
I appreciate that.
So that is a successful first aid roll on him.
Okay. Suddenly there is a voice, and it says, "Excuse me, sir."
I look around for the source of the voice.
A bearded man in a leather apron comes out of the shadows.
Who are you?
I'm a friend of his, and he points to the old man.
Well, as you can see, he's beyond the help of friends.
Not friends like me. And he goes over, and he takes a coin out, and he puts it on his forehead. And it burns and dissolves, leaving a burn patch. And he gasps for breath.
I do?
Yeah.
Ah.
Are you still all rubbery and boneless?
No, because he killed the wizard. And he says, tell him he doesn't die unless it's at her hands, and that she remembers him. You'll give him that message for me?
Yes.
We'll be seeing you soon. And with that, he turns into a giant hyena and darts off into the darkness, whereupon I need you to make a sanity check.
And that's a failure.
And you lose 2 more points.
This Shadow War just gets weirder and weirder.
Hey, Chad.
Yeah.
Plot twist!
Whoa. Did I hear that bit about the...
No, you won't remember anything after dying.
Okay.
How many hit points do I have?
1.
Is that what it comes back to? 1? Okay.
All right, so we are going to say that well, you've got a horse.
Yes.
And the cart.
The cart is at the temple.
Yeah, maybe we leave the cart. Maybe write that off.
Well, so is Sian.
Yeah. Well, so if he was going to leave, they won't expect him back, but we want to leave the horse with someone out here.
Do you want to stagger back down to town, grab the girl and the cart, and just leave?
Something about the vial full of demon.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, what the hell are we going to do with that, man? God.
Lead box and throw it in the sea.
I don't even trust the sea anymore. But yeah.
If she's going to recover, we need to return her to her children. We promised them that we would do all that we could to heal her.
Okay, so what happens is, are you going to risk going back down to the temple and trying to get her and your cart and get out of this town? And do you leave the priest's body just lying in the road?
No. Fuck. I mean, Horatius and I are in no shape to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that leaves me to dig a shallow grave.
Thanks, man.
Most appreciated.
Okay, you stash the body in a shallow grave on the roadside. Leave not far from his tethered horse. Do you want to go down into town, get the girl, and come back here to pick them up with the cart? Or do you all want to try and stagger down into town? Because you don't have a scratch on you.
Yeah, maybe you should go and get the woman. Tell them that we'll watch over her. If she's expected to recover, she will either recover or no, but she should at least be with her family. I mean, we can wait here with the horse. I dare say we shouldn't go back to the temple.
Yeah.
I don't love sitting here next to a shallow grave and a horse.
Is it the shallow grave or the horse part you object to?
It is still relatively early, Horatius. We should not be noticed. The traffic should not be heavy now. If it only takes a few moments for him to go back and grab Sian, we will be on our way shortly.
It's my nerves. It's been a very bad day.
You notice that there's a circular burn on your forehead.
What?
Yeah, this guy in a leather apron said he was a friend of yours. Came out of the shadows, put a coin on your forehead. The coin dissolved. And he said to tell you that you don't die except by her hand, and she will remember you. And then he turned into a hyena and ran off.
Okay.
A friend of yours?
Does it ring a bell? I'm assuming the leather apron does not, unless you
Oh, you met a couple of guys who wore leather aprons.
I mean, sure.
I mean, how many of your friends turned into giant hyenas?
Is a leather apron a sign of a surgeon?
Or a smith.
Does that ring any bells at all?
Welcome.
I assume an ally in our
Blood and Glory.
Oh, from Rome. Oh, yes. Oh, it is coming back to me. Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
is this a good thing or a bad thing?
I do love an arch villain.
I'm going to have to tell you it's not a good thing. Let's just say that much.
Okay, we're gonna save that story for post. But let's wrap up the scenario. Let's wrap up what happens to Sian.
Yeah.
When you get Sian back away from the temple, the people in the temple are actually completely unaware. They seem completely innocent. They are what they seem. Whatever agenda the leader of the temple had, they don't seem to be in on it.
Okay.
Sian is completely lucid and dying.
Can we try to administer first aid or?
The priests in the temple, they say that it looks. They said that there's really nothing that they can do. It's almost as if she was a woman, well, in her 90s. Like they said that there's a buildup of foul humors in her kidneys and her liver. She's an organ failure. There's really nothing we can do. We can give you something for her that'll make her comfortable, but it's amazing that she was even able to move around as sickly as her body is.
Do we know? Does she seem like someone in her 90s, or she's actually in her 90s?
She looks like she's 30.
Yeah.
And she's like, "It's okay. Thank you. It's better this way. I feel like I've been in a nightmare for 5 years." And she says, take me to my children. I want to speak to them before I'm out of time.
Of course.
Is it worth? I'd like to make an insight to just read her to, I'm assuming
Roll.
that, yeah. Success.
Failure.
No, she's genuine.
Yeah, as suspected. Just good to check.
She says, "I won't share the horrors that I've endured, but I was aware of everything happening, and there was nothing I can do. It was like I was outside of myself."
Wow.
And she said, "I never wanted to hurt anyone."
Were you aware of its intentions? Did it? Were you able to feel what it wanted?
It was like I was giving it information, but it was making all of the choices. And it was reacting to my fear. I felt as a puppet. Like an ox led around by a ring in its nose. I was there, but I was not there.
Well, you need to be there now for your children. You must repair what has been done.
She says, I've lifted the curse on my brother-in-law. If he still wishes to help my children, he will have my blessing. And she says that there's a bag of coins at the bottom of my well. I hid it there before I burned the house. There should be enough to rebuild the house. and I will sign the land over to my brother in the keeping for my children until my son turns 17.
We will see that it is done.
Yep.
Indeed.
She says, "Get me home so I can make these arrangements with what family I have left."
Yes. All right.
Okay. So you get her home. She has a very tearful reunion with her children. And her brother-in-law actually comes to the villa, and he can see. And he says, "I heard, there was rumors all through town that she'd gone missing and that you'd gone missing and that the children were found here and that you were trying to help her."
Yeah, they're good kids, and I wanted to make sure that their mother got the help she needed.
And she says, "Help, she's dying." And then she kind of interrupts and says, "I'd rather have a few moments in control than live 100 years as I was." And, she says, "These men are not responsible for my death. They're responsible for my salvation."
Mm.
And she says, "Do not regret your actions." She says, "I can see my children and I can say goodbye, and I know that they will have the life I could not provide for them." She says, "Will you check in on them now and again?"
Certainly.
Yes.
They will not understand. When they're older, you can explain it to them.
We will call on them whenever we are in the area.
And she says, "The bag in the well, divide the coins in half, and half is my gift to you.
Mm.
The remainder of it, leave for my children."
Lucius looks at the other two and just shakes his head and is like, the coins belong to your children and their well-being. They should have all of it.
She says, "What, you risked your lives? You're so badly hurt. You don't even know me."
We don't do this for coin.
She starts to cry, and she says, "I will look for you on the other side, and if I can protect you, I will."
Thank you.
Lucius just nods to her.
Yeah, internally I'm thinking, do not come back from the other side to help us. But I'm nodding.
Well, Romans actually believe that ghosts of their friends and family did come back to help them on certain days of the year.
Yeah, I don't think I want that anymore in my life.
She lasts only 2 days, passing in her sleep. Her children are devastated, but she speaks to them as she once was. Her daughter doesn't even remember her sane. So she tells them, "Be brave. Your uncle's going to take care of you. The land is going to be yours in a few years. Learn how to tend it." She says, "Bury me with your father. Remember me, and I will always be there to watch over you." And she dies the next morning. And that is the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if it's a bit of a bummer.
Well, I'm not dead. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
Man. So we have that vial, right?
And we didn't check him to see like if he had any like tattoos or identifying marks or brands or anything like that either.
As far as, I mean, they'll identify him on the road, don't you think? What do you mean?
Well, no. So in our dealings in the Shadow War, I mean, we know that he's a cultist, clearly.
Oh, I see, but we
didn't
can't
check to see whether or not he had any, tattoos or anything on him that would have indicated.
You do know where he is.
Yeah,
True.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it? I mean, now we've murdered someone, so that's also a problem.
I mean, it's not for Lucius. That's his job. I mean, like.
Yeah. Well, I'm just talking about.
You ambushed and murdered a prominent citizen in the neighboring town.
Yeah.
A much beloved physician and priest.
Yeah,
we don't want to hang around there. And,
Right.
he probably was doing some half good. I mean, he certainly solved this woman's problem. We didn't really do that. So it's a bittersweet thing. But, yeah, you don't get to lie about a pocket full of shadows and then make off into the night with it.
Yeah.
Not in this war.
When he charged that horse, he was intent on killing you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was no doubt.
So we killed him in self-defense.
Kinda.
With no corroborating witnesses.
Yeah. We'll
Well,
corroborate each other.
Well, if the dead guy wants to take us to court,
Well, and the temple is still there, and if those people seem to be on the up and up,
Right.
then there's still good being done. Lucius had intended at the end of this to circle around and talk to you two to see whether or not we could bring him in if he could be an ally in the Shadow War. Obviously not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that had kind of been his thought going into it.
We don't know that for sure. It's just to keep it ambiguous. It's possible that there's another wing of the Shadow War that can make use of these things, or maybe it was a forensics trip, but you don't get to lie to us.
Yeah,
So.
definitely not.
right?
Oh well.
Well,
So,
he made his bed.
Do you want to explain who that man might have been?
What I want to do is review, since it's been about a year, and maybe I can open the next session with that story, because I'm not totally clear on the details and don't really want to get them wrong.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Let me do that.
How long do you think? So this was like halfway through our sabbatical, right?
Right.
So I think Lucius would spend some of his time maybe with the brother-in-law out at the house helping to clean some of the land.
It turns out that all those overgrown trees are the remains of what was once a very prosperous almond orchard.
Nice.
So the land is actually very valuable. And almost immediately the children will have a good income. And the brother-in-law owns the land on the other side of the hill, and he also has almond orchards. I mean, this was a large plot that the brothers split between them as part of their inheritance.
Yeah.
So it'll be very easy for him to tend it. And he doesn't have an heir. So he is more than happy to have blood relations he can pass the land on to.
Mm-hmm.
So would he
to
adopt
keep it in the family? They're his niece and nephew. He doesn't really need to adopt them. With both their parents dead, someone has to raise them. So he does formally adopt them in his household.
Yeah, I meant like as far as like a legal sense, so they could, he could leave property to them, sort of stuff.
Right. Well, technically, the way the wife drew up the papers, the land's in trust to her son.
Yeah.
He's only managing it until the kid turns 17.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
And he seems a real decent guy. And he's like, look, I'm going to teach my nephew everything he needs to do so that when he turns 17, we'll find him a good wife and he can take over this. And he says, probably by then my son will be taking over my farm. And, he can work he can work with his cousin.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he would help out as. I mean, he's obviously not a farmer by any stretch of the imagination, but he would help out as much as he could, feeling responsible for the kids. Then that we promised them that we would save their mother, and on some level, I guess that happened. But
if you want to talk to him about it, he says, in a way, you did save her. He goes, that was my sister-in-law, and I haven't seen her that way in 3 years. It's not your. You didn't put that creature in her. You took it. You helped get it out. Whatever madness, whatever demon or spirit was, gripping her, you saved her from it, and you let her die with some dignity. And if that's not enough, you restored my sight. Had you not cured her, she would have never lifted the curse on me.
Yes, well, we wish we could have not only returned her sanity, but also her life to spend with her children. But we must take these small comforts as we can.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to trying some of these almonds.
He says that we have a warehouse down at in my property. Please, I would love for you to be a guest to dinner.
Excellent.
Bill, make a luck roll.
Let's see here. Whew. No.
Okay.
Failure.
How bad?
I failed by 13 points.
Okay, it's not too bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my luck is down to 21 now, so.
Okay. All right, so, the brother-in-law has a large family. He's one of several brothers and sisters, and these children are now in part of a large extended family. And they, the father, the brother-in-law basically says that, you will have a home here whenever you visit. I want you all to consider yourselves part of my family. You've restored my sight, and you've given us, Neridia and Neptunus back into our lives. That says, and you, although it does not feel that way, you did save my sister-in-law. And I know that she is at peace with my brother.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
And he embraces each one of you.
Wow.
I feel terrible. I didn't want to do the completely happy ending because it's so predictable. and it is Call of Cthulhu after all.
Yeah. No, it makes
honestly,
sense.
In my mind, that creature was the only thing keeping her alive.
Mm-hmm.
She probably would have died years ago after what damage it did.
Right. Well, I mean, when things settle down, Lucius would totally, be at the surgeons getting bones set and
yeah.
spend a lot of time in rehab.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the journey was not predictable. Did not go as planned any step of the way.
Well, you did sniff out that the guy might have had ulterior motives.
I had a feeling. Yeah.
And you could have just let him go.
Nope.
It's never an option.
Yeah.
No. The best thing would have been to confront him and ask him about it. But it just went so.
He didn't want to get down off his high horse.
That's right. Because I'm curious, actually winning the Shadow War would have been a better move would have been to follow and figure out where is he taking it, and does he have other contacts, and root out this cell or whatever and find out what they're up to. But all we know is that south from that town there's something bad. So Oh,
Well, you do remember he showed up within a few days of the incident, and he'd been treating every person who survived, who was stricken insane.
Right.
And he did treat them and allow them to regain some semblance of themselves.
Mm.
So knowing what you know, you may be able to guess what he was doing.
No.
Or extrapolate anyway.
Yeah, but he's the one that poisoned, quote unquote, poisoned them
Yeah.
to get the temple set up, because they originally came from Carthage,
Yeah.
and to have swooped in as soon afterwards and be able to get a foothold in the city, opening up a whole brand new temple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that big yawn, I think we better start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's
All right.
okay. It's a long day for all of us.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we got it done. I'm sorry if it was a bit of a downer.
That's fine.
But, Call of Cthulhu, you can't have shiny, happy endings all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
Yeah.
listening to actual play podcasts of Dennis Detwiller scenarios, so this was positively cheery.
And Chad, I'm going to make you pay for that extra life.
I bet you are. I know. I'm aware.
When that little girl you just rescued is kidnapped,
Oh no! Come on.
I will, unless you come to the spooky island on the haunted, to the spooky castle on the haunted island alone and turn yourself over. We're gonna do Snively Whiplash twirling mustache super
Right.
villain. You're gonna be like, fuck it, I'm retiring the character. I'm rolling up somebody else. I don't need this shit.
Someone who doesn't know any of these people.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be tomorrow with us all rolling up new characters.
Right. We got pretty close there.
It could have.
Mhm.
I like Horatius. I just didn't want him to die, and I'm like, I've got the super villain that they let go.
Yeah.
I can't have him die. I don't have the link to that thing I want to do later. He hasn't suffered enough. But it is true. I've been dying to bring that villain back, but I didn't want to do it so soon because it's so obvious. I wanted you to start to forget and then spring it. And then you're lying there dying, and I'm like, fuck.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You're too good of a plot device. Gotta keep All right, well, I hope everybody had a good time. I'm not sure when we're going to get to do this again, but we still have to go back to the valley.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I've caught wind that Bill will be playtesting something with us soon, and I will actually get to roll someone up.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. So that should be a fun treat coming up.
Mhm.
I'm thinking of actually of rolling up a philosopher.
Mhm.
But, I've got like 10 different ideas for characters I'd want to play.
Yeah, let's see here. A week from Sunday, I'm doing a play test here for Whispers and Promises.
I think
With
that's
some
Easter,
people.
dude.
Well,
Weekend
Sunday
for
is.
Easter.
Okay. Oh,
I'm
it's
not
going to
even
be
ready
things are
for.
going to get crazy. We're hopefully
Mhm.
going to be pushing a book out the door in the next couple of months.
Mhm.
All right, guys, I am dead on my feet. This was
Yeah.
wonderful, and I will talk
Thank
to all
you.
of you later.
Thank
Yep.
you so much.
Thanks, Oscar.
There's something very important. You all get.
Hey, do we want to mention that for people who are going to see this, in the next month, that Golden Goblin Press is doing a fire sale right now, 20% off physical copies of things in the store right now.
We're doing a spring cleaning sale.
Yes.
Cool. And if you order over 60, it's 30%.
30%.
Mhm.
There you go.
If you've only been buying PDFs and did not want to get the physical books, now is the perfect time to do it.
Yes.
Links in the show notes.
Because I'm trying to clear out some room so we can make room for the new books that are hopefully arriving at the Goblin Lair in the next few months. All right, good night, everyone.
Cool.
Good night.
Good night. See you later.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
We'll catch you later. All right, and for everybody that was checking this out, we appreciate everybody watching this. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please click the likes and the subscribes. Tell your friends. Rating on iTunes and or whatever your pod chaser of choices is super helpful, and we definitely appreciate that. As we noted, there's a sale going on right now at Golden Goblin Press, so please check that out. We do have coffee for sale. It's really good. It's roasted by Neil. We have new labels rolling out. I'll have to post some of that image on Twitter. It looks really good. The coffee's great. And again, we appreciate you checking this out, and we'll catch you next time.